What's up, everybody? Welcome to our late night LOKA podcast, episode 17. Thank you for all your support, all your shares, likes. We love it, we appreciate it, and we want you to share it as much as you can. Follow us on YouTube, on Red Angeles, on Instagram, manukgri_loka, and also on YouTube on my channel, LOKA818. Please spread the word and please subscribe, like, and share. We have a very exciting show today. We have very special guests. We're going to talk about some important topics concerning parents and children. And I encourage you to stay tuned and listen all the way through. We got legal stance of it, we got political stance of it, father stance of it, and grandpa stance of it. We got it all today for you, okay? Let me quickly introduce my guests today. We got my brother Oscar. What's up, Oscar?
What's up, Manuk? Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you for being here. We got our brother Ed. What's up, Ed Diesel?
Hey, what's up, Manuk? Thanks a lot for having us here, bro.
Thank you for coming here at this time of the night, and we appreciate you. And my brother Cowboy Dave. What's up, Dave? How you doing?
It's great to be here at your studios tonight. I'm really honored to be at this seat.
Thank you very much for coming here, gentlemen. Before we open the show, we want to give our audience a little bit of who you guys are, like a few words, because there's a lot of us today. Just quick introduction of who you are and what you're representing and why, who you are, basically.
Well, I'm Oscar, born and raised in the San Fernando Valley. Met Manuk because we've been fighting against all this stuff that's going on with the leftists, and we're here fighting right now, and I'm here to introduce a leadership program that we're making called the Bushido Tribe, and something we want to talk about.
Thank you. Ed, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, Manuk? I'm Ed. I'm out of Pacoima, but I reside in San Fernando now. And I'm also with SFB, and I'm also joining up with the Bushido Tribe.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm David Bulldog, lifetime Angelino, and I'm with the SFE Alliance, and that's why you have these three guests on tonight. That's what we have in common. We are we are members of the SFE Alliance. Serving family values is what we do. And my role in the organization is I am the legislative liaison.
That's right. So we got SFE in the house. San Fernando Valley Value Alliance, right?
Serving family values.
And we got my girl. She couldn't be here tonight because she moving. Unfortunately, we can't help her. All these men around with SFE and LOKA and stuff. But Alicia, we love you, and shout out to you, my girl. Shout out,
Much love, Alyssa.
She's part of the SFV Alliance too. Founders.
Yes, sir. And that's how I met her first. Alicia, she was downright. I was like, damn, She came to Sadikoy when we had the riots right there, the protest back in 2023. I love your T-shirt, Ed. What's up, bro? American Hood Patriot.
American Hood Patriot, man. This is my brand. You can come out. I got a bunch of political T-shirts. I got spiritual T-shirts, and I got 1776 and just a bunch of T-shirts. And if you could tell with my my trompero hat, I'm trying to reach out to the Hispanic crowd because we use that word a lot in the neighborhood. Hey, dog. What's up, dog? So Trump is my dog. So that's how I try to identify with my peep, and they're like really loving it right now. They like the word trompero.
Trompero.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Trompero. Can you hand that to me real quick, please? Thank you very much. There
Looks like
we
you
go.
can buy your own Trumpero goods from your store. Is that correct?
Excuse me?
Can you buy a Trumpero hat from your store?
Oh, yeah.
What's the store? Let them know.
So where do we find it? Where do we find it?
You can find it under AmericanHoodPatriot.com.
That's right. Do we have that, Christian? Can we put that up real quick so our viewers can see it? For all of you that want some cool T-shirts, my boy also came up with this T-shirt I'm wearing. And my other boy, Colony Inc., my boy Oscar printed it. He's being modest. He's not telling all the things that he's involved. He's constantly at the skate parks donating skateboards, printing T-shirts, printing boards. You're constantly involved, my boy, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. And my top hats off to you. You know, like
Thank you, man.
we all do different things, but I see. Yeah, you're not with me constantly at the boards and doing all this screaming and yelling, but you're constantly with the youth and teenagers and young adults, helping out, giving free stuff. You know, like a couple of times you've been down the block from my house, taco stand, free tacos, and now you're doing this other thing that's called, which is. I also want to join and start something like that with my community, that I'm going off of yours and I'm stealing your idea kind of, but hey, the more the merrier, right?
Well,
you know, and we can even join forces, the Bushido tribe. People don't think that what I'm talking about is the Bushido tribe, you know. 1 second. Before we go on, this is the Bushido tribe, right?
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
People, please follow the Bushido tribe.
The Bushido, it means the 7 virtues of a samurai warrior. It's a way to kind of introduce that to our community, and something that we lack. It's something that we're lacking right now, especially in our young men, especially how we've been getting groomed. Our kids have been getting groomed behind our backs, and it's something that we would like to do to influence young men to leadership roles and becoming a part of a family.
That's right. That's right. So basically, tell us a little bit more about like what is it that we're with Bushido tribe? What to expect with Bushido tribe? Like,
so Bushido tribe is more targeting more. Right now we have at-risk youth where we want to help them learn about integrity, honesty. The 7 virtues is integrity, respect, courage, honor, honesty, and compassion, loyalty. Those are stuff that we want to install into the youth, coming up with fitness, food education. We have a nutritionist, my friend Jose. He's going to be educating a lot about like food and eating habits, to kind of keep you fit and get you more aligned with yourself, to be more.
Is this free for public, or
right
is
now?
it like...
Right now, it's free. We're gonna have one starting tomorrow. It's gonna be our first launch at Warner Park at 8 a.m. in the morning. You guys can click the link and log in if you guys want to register. It's gonna be just us having like a little program going on rugs, going on camping trips, and educating a lot of people more about finance and things like that that they don't teach us in school.
I was gonna say that. How does one get registered? But I see it right here, free boot camp registration. So all you got to do is just press the link right there, docs.google.com/ whatever that sign is, forms. You see it, people. I'm not going to read all that, bro.
/.
Yeah, just click on the link and it will lead you there. Register, and I will try. Will try definitely come out there tomorrow morning. Support you guys. It's very important that why I'm having this conversation and why it's important to have my brother and San Fernando Valley Lands come up here is because the Bushido tribe. Okay, so I really want to get into this. The public, the media is going berserk on PDD, right? Like what's happening, and I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to give him that glory, whatnot, and what happened between him and Usher. Like I don't want to talk about that either. But it's all over the news, you know. Like no need to talk about that, right? But what happened to Justin Bieber was, and he's still quiet about it, is very disturbing to me, and this is why I want to stress this point that we parents, we must be very active and involved with our children. Doesn't matter what the circumstances, be there, be next to your children, be always around your children. Because look, the parents trusted this one famous rapper, singer, whatever, hip-hop artist. They trusted their child with him, and they gave him custody, right? And this guy goes and gives custody to another man, and this is where all things get twisted. So I'm not going to talk about all this, what they did, right? I'm going to say this in a parent's point of view. How are you going to trust, Ed, you're the oldest in this room, you know, like you got a little bit age and you're a grandpa, I know. How do you trust your child to someone to take with him to parties, to clubs, and to performing or whatever, like to different country, to different state, to different, like how do you trust that? Like, and what would you say if they told you, oh, you can't go with us, you just gotta give us ownership or whatnot?
Well, I mean, just common sense. You know what I mean? I'm not letting my kid, my granddaughter, any kid, even a neighbor's kid telling me, hey, I'm going to let them go over there. No, bro, you don't. You know, that's just out of the question. How are you going to trust a man, you know, and sometimes I even really don't want some family members to take my kids, but my kids are already grown, but I'm just talking kids in general, to take them out for a weekend. No, bro. If anything, I'll be there too.
Exactly, right. I blame the parents. I mean, I blame everybody. Whoever's at fault and did what not wrong, that's them, and they got to answer to God and judges and all this stuff. But I blame the parents, bro. Like,
there was an incentive that they were going to get just by allowing Justin Bieber to do all of that stuff. He had a gift, so they took advantage and they capitalized on being able.
And this is where you come in, you know, like parents be involved. And one question: can parents come also to be part of your? Yeah. Like if I drop off my children, can I join you and you know, be part of it? Like, you know, see what.
Well, that's the intention. We would like families to come and join us so that they can see the father being part of the leadership as well, because the father and the mother are always their first love, and they're always the people they get inspired by, you know. So
Amen.
If they can see them working out, they can see them being fit, it's only going to benefit their life in the future, because now they're healthy, they're eating correctly, and they're physically fit, and they have more energy to do a lot more work and build for a better future.
You know, as I hear you talk about that, not only are you creating healthy habits for this family, but you're creating memories. Mm-hmm. To have an event that comes out to a park, you have a stranger, your parents are there, everybody's exercising, you're hearing good messages. This is a big benefit that you're going to add to the society or to our community by doing this, and I thank you for that.
No, thank you.
Yes, sir. I was in church last Sunday with the family, and the pastor said, we men, we leave the prayer to women. We always say, my mom will pray for me, my wife will pray for me. You know, we always leave that burden on our women, you know, like we always busy working, making money out on the streets and everything. But in the Bible it says that we men are supposed to be praying, and actually women were not allowed in church. And if you are a woman, you can't go to church with your hair open in my religion. You know, you got to cover your hair. You got to go in the church. And once you go in the church, you can't preach this outside of the church. Only men can preach this, you know. So for a man to be absent in your children's life, right, is like something's missing. I grew up without a dad. I know how hard it is to not have a parent, male figure in your life. You know, constantly you see people with their dads doing stuff and you ain't got that. So it's kind of hard, but it's very important. That's why I'm very involved with my children, you know, because I think father figures are important.
I mean, there is a movement right now happening across our country and across Europe that the child's rights needs to come first. And what that right is to have a mother and a father to raise them. Because without that, they're lacking. There is something that's missing. Now, and even best if it's the natural parents, those that birthed them, those that who's the father, because they care most about that child. If you say you get a divorce and you have a mother, she hooks up with another man, most likely they're either going to neglect, that new man is either going to neglect or abuse that child. So it's important to keep families together. It's important to give the children that right. You know, even we have an issue coming up on the ballot to make marriage a natural right, a right. And it's very vague. We don't even know what that's all about. But what could that mean? I mean, you would automatically think, well, they're talking about because of gay marriage. But it could be anything. But the deal with that is you get married, you have two men get married or two women, and then you have a child. And then that child now does not have the benefit of having their father and mother, just mother and mother, or father and father. And it's never the same for that child. So it's important what you're talking about having a natural family. And that's what the rights of the kid should be. I mean, first and foremost, the kid should be allowed to be born. That's the first right of a person, the right to live.
The right to live.
Yeah, so if you take that away from the child, they don't even have a life. But let's say you're in a situation where a mother, she feels she can't take care of the kid. What's the next best thing you can do? It'd be best to have those two natural parents, but then adoption is an option because you're allowing that kid to live. To live. Yeah, and but you know, if you can't get those two parents, you go to the next best thing, and then you go on for that. Now, if you could have two mom and dads, that'd be great. But if not, if it's two just adults that are taking care of and loving that kid, that's the next thing. But the most optimum thing is to have a mother and father, the natural mother and father.
That's how God intended. God intended for family to exist between man and a woman, you know. Yeah, like I said this many, many times. I don't care how you identify. If you're a man, you cannot give birth to a child, you know.
There's no way.
There's no way. If you're a woman with another woman, you need a man, again, to seed it, you know. So all this stuff is, you're right. A child should have the privilege of having a mother and a father. And once that barrier is where pretend I'm a woman with a beard in a dress and I'm your mom, that's only going to damage that child. That child is going to grow up looking at every other child's moms, they're old ladies, but his mom or her mom is a man with a beard in a skirt. Yeah, that's okay for you, you know, but that child is going to go through some mental problems, and this is why we have what we have right now, you know. And I think I really, really enjoyed you saying yes to coming to my show, because I think it's very important what you're doing, bro. I mean, you're taking on a very big weight on your shoulders, and you're waking up this community, and it's going to catch on, and it's going to go viral, where I'm already thinking about doing something like that for my community, you know, because I think it's very important that our children, not only my children, but because my children are going to play with your children, they're going to grow up and be associating with your children, doing business. And if your children are not sane in the head, if they're thinking they're cats and dogs and cardboard boxes, I don't want that around my children.
No, hell no.
You know, that's not what I want. That's not a healthy society. No. That's not an acceptable society. I don't want to come out of my house and see bunch of, you know, kids walking around like cats and dogs.
Not knowing what respect looks
like. That's not a society you want to live in, bro. And that's only the 3% of United States. Only 3% or maybe 5% of United States and 3% of Californians, right? And they're trying to push it, and they're damaging our children, mutilating our children, and we need to wake them up. And I think this is a great way to have families involved with their children. And I'm guessing you're going to have, other than, because you told me what you're going to do tomorrow, you know, running and exercise and all
burpees,
this. I'm guessing
push-ups, pull-ups.
Yeah, I'm guessing
like
you're going to have fishing trips and camping and how to start, you know, like
Well, one of the big things is we want to show characteristics of what it looks like to when you're on time. You gotta shake another man's hand, look him in the eye, be honorable in what you say, and things like that. That are gonna install that mindset into the kid's future to make it better for him, you know. And it's something that nowadays we lack, you know. And at the end of the day, it's also another tool that needs to be sharpened every day, because we're not all perfect. Sometimes we learn about all these basics things that we need to know to be able to make ourselves better, but we forget it, you know. And if we can build this community where we can constantly keep telling each other, like, hey, this is where you're doing wrong, this is where we're doing good, this is, hey, I like what you're doing, and we're all getting better all at one, especially in one unit as a community, you know.
So you're talking about meeting face to face, not on your phone and making comments where you could say whatever and you're not held really accountable. You can say some nasty things online and nobody's going to hold you back. And the reality is you could be talking to somebody from across the country or in another nation or another state. But when you're on your own block or you're in the park with a person, you're creating real bonds. You're creating real community with that. And I love the fact that you want to take that and run with it. And I hope that's something that becomes a social contagion, where you see people on, not just in like Granada Hills or San Fernando or Pacoima or North Hollywood, but you see it on the block. On that block, the families getting together, the parents getting together, the kids getting together. And then I said this already, but you create community. Now you get to know each other. Now you get to look out for each other. Now you find out what's happening, what the issues are, what they think. You're not focusing in, like we're all on social media, we're on Instagram, and we look at what we want to see, and they bring us more and more of what we want to see. But it's really important to hear opposite views, different ways of looking at things. You learn and you grow that way, as opposed to being hyper-focused on one issue and just knowing that issue so well. But that's all you know. You know that community. It's community online, but it's not a community in real life. It's not where, like, as you said, look them in the eye and press flesh, sweat with them, work together, you know, pant, get out there and become better people.
And if you're late, you're held responsible. You give me 20 labs, all of that stuff, you know, things that we need to learn, you know.
You know, this could be also, a thought came to my head. Like, if I'm homeschooling my children, registering with Bushido Tribe, we can cover some of the curriculum in their studies, because homeschooling is not actually schooling like they're teaching in the school. You could do activities with your children and consider science or whatever, right? So this could also be beneficial for all those people who are homeschooling, to bring their children to Bushido Tribe, right? And today's lesson, like PE or outdoor activity or science or something, you know, it could be.
Yeah, that'd be something we can connect with, see if we can get some homeschool involved.
Because I know you're homeschooling, right?
Yeah, I'm homeschooling my son. My wife helps me out a lot, so she's.
So it's also schoolwork plus other stuff you could do to pass, right? Curriculum. Am I understanding right?
Yeah, for homeschool is just teaching them the basics of what they give you, a package and things like that you have to go through.
You're free to teach them the way you want, or.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's usually at my store all the time at the print shop. He gets to see everything from business to how the transaction. He draws his own stuff. He even has his own shirts. He pays attention to the process of how you burn a negative. So just by having him there, he's already aware of everything that's going on how the process is to create an actual product, you know?
He's very creative, and he always wants to know what's going on, what's happening. And Oscar leads skateboard. He's out there listening to his dad while he talks to customers.
He answers the phone,
and he answers the phone. And so, how old is he again?
He's 5.
He's 5 years old.
Nice.
And when I come in there, you know, he goes directly, stands up, shakes my hand, and he tries to break it. But
yeah, I know. I love that kid.
Was that your son who's here tonight?
That's my son.
Yeah, first thing he walks in, that hand came out and it was shaking, and then he got real. I'm like, oh man, this is kind of starting to hurt.
yeah. But,
That's the boy right there.
But the way that they're teaching him, Oscar and his mother Olga, you know, it's good to see that in a kid, because I don't know, this is in the Hispanic culture, when I was younger, when my aunts and uncles used to come in, my tios and tias, when they used to come in, we used to have to go over there, tell them hello, shake their hand, ask them if they wanted anything. Okay, but now when I go into people's houses, their kids don't come out. They don't come out and greet you. They're in the rooms and you never see them.
Yeah, that was a big deal in my house too. Like you had to say hello. And when like friends came over and they didn't say hi, my parents freaked out.
Yeah,
They did not like that at all.
Yeah. So
you had to get up, give them your seat, and all this stuff. Like on a serious note, and your uncle comes, you don't want to come and give him a kiss and say hi.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, boy?
Hey.
Get smacked in the head.
yeah, you get
know?
smacked. You know what I mean? But we lost that in all the kids because, like I said, you go in there, and your nieces and nephews don't even come out of that room. You know,
Because we're just.
We're babysitting them with screens. We're not taking our, parents are not doing what they should be doing with kids. They're putting them in front of screens. It's a lot easier. You can get things done, but you're not really having that interaction, that precious moments of having children, of what it's about to be in there. You're very smart and you're very fortunate to be doing that, Oscar. And you can see the fruits of your labor tonight with your son, how he came at me tonight. It was really nice.
Hey,
Oh, thank you.
excuse me. Hey, Tiber Knox, you're being very disrespectful, and a lot of my people asking me to kick you out. I've been very nice to you, and I've been trying to keep you on the show so you can hear what we're talking about, being part of it, but you're trying to be very disrespectful to my people. Don't make me kick you out, bro. I will kick you out. I will block you. I will shut you down, and you will never hear our podcast again. Have some respect. You could talk and be respectful, man. If you're going to act like that, you're going to act like a child, we're going to treat you like a child, bro. If you want to be on my show, come on my show. Zoom in, call me, appointment me, DM me, and we could put you on the show. You don't even have to come to the studio. You could Zoom and we could talk one-on-one, and I'll tell you what's up, bro. But all these typing and behind the screen doing all this, nah, bro. Stop acting like a child. You're on this podcast watching us because I allow you to, bro. Don't forget that. Real easy to block your ass, bro. I'm being real, bro. If I hear one more complaint on you, I don't care how much Narek wants you on the social, he could talk shit to you. I'm going to block you, bro. I'm serious. You don't think so? Try again, bro. Try again, see what happens.
I don't know exactly what was said, but whoever that person is out there, could be a lot better way that you can.
You have to
interact with
follow me, bro. You have to follow me. I'm following you. DM, I want to contact you tomorrow, okay? Be nice. I'm going to contact you tomorrow, and I'm going to schedule you. I'm going to overbook you and schedule you for next Friday. I'm telling you, I'm going to contact you tomorrow, and you're going to be on my show next Friday. But until then, you behave, bro. Be nice. You want to argue, have a conversation, go ahead. But no, none of this disrespectful type, childish stuff. My boy David was just saying, you're sitting behind computer typing without no repercussions. No, this is not manly. Be a man. My boy Oscar right here trying to teach children, 5-year-olds, to be a man. You're acting like a child, bro. Stop it. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but we have this one guy that I don't want to get rid of him because he's one of my crazy followers that he has followed all my accounts, and I'm giving him the opportunity to conversate with our viewers, but keep it in respect, you can't just be disrespectful to people online when, come on, bro. I never cuss out anybody over the phone or online. Why? Because I want to look you in your eye before I cuss you out.
Yeah, well.
So if you're going to break, you're going to break in front of me. Or if you're going to take flight, you're going to take flight. Either way, we're going to handle it like men, Not be like a child and I could type anything I want. These people don't understand. I could block them and down talk them all I want. This is my show. We could turn this down and talk all the crap we want, but we're bigger, man. We're trying to teach our youth not to do that. At least I know people in this room are. We got to keep it in respect regardless. And my message to parents is Be involved with your children's life, regardless of the time schedule you have or whatnot. I don't care, bro. If you, for you know, what's the saddest part of my children that I see is looking at them growing up. You know, that's growing up so fast. You know, it's like that's the only downfall of my children. Like, I want them to stay babies as much as they can, you know, but they're growing up, and it's up to us as parents to educate them and lead them on the right direction, on the right path to be productive citizens for the future of our country and for the world, you know?
Yeah, it's our job to create the tools for them to be able to build their purpose, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With whatever's happening in this state is very important that it's gonna affect every other state. Like even our opposition liberals are saying that because California is the set example for the whole world to see. And what we're doing, what you're doing actually is a set example where it could catch on, and I hope it does. You know, I hope people see the benefit of what you're doing and spread it around where everybody's doing it. You know what I mean? Because it's very important that our children are set prioritized of what's right and what's wrong. You know?
Well, that's going to be the future. We can have people with integrity, honor, and all those Bushido virtuals start making decisions for our communities is going to be the best thing we can do, because you know that's going to be a good mindset to have, and that's going to be able to install into our community.
A lot of stuff is happening, bro. You know, and I met Ed at San Fernando when there was a thing happening in the library.
The library, bro.
Yeah, and I met you there, and it's not only there that's happening. It's happening everywhere.
Everywhere.
And they're trying, and I have a question, why the children? Like, why are they so concentrated on our children?
You know who would really probably like that and get a kick out of it? Go to the elderly. If you want to dress like a clown, make them happy. Tell them some stories. You know, they could probably get a laughter out of it, but not the kids, bro.
Well, I mean, if you're attacking the kids and you're trying to weaken, especially men, that's your only threat to being able to conquer an actual state or community. So I ask myself that question all the time. Like, what would be another reason? Why would you attack men, especially men, young men, to cut their genitals off and do all of that stuff? There's no other reason but to want to conquer your country. I don't know what other reason would that be. Why else would you want to feminize man, the only threat to you, in order for you to be able to manipulate a whole city, you know?
I saw a few documentaries, and I'm also from former Soviet Union. The way we grew up over there until today, we teach our children over there, Armenian children in schools, they have to learn chess from a very early age. From first grade, they teach you chess, you know. From like third grade, they teach you how to, wood shop, chop wood, like make stuff out of wood, like machine shop. They, in Russia, they take these children, like 8-year-olds, in the mountains and tell them, you have to survive. You got to start a fire. You got to go catch some food or hunt and skin that fish or pluck that bird or whatever. You got to feed yourself. Of course, they have reserves, and they're not going to let the children. They do it in a way they're educating. In China, in a classroom, they give a child a loaded weapon with a bullet inside the chamber, and this child has to take the bullet out, take the whole gun apart, put it back, and load it, and put the bullet in the chamber, and put it on the table within few minutes. And you should see how these children are. And if God forbids we go to war with Russia or China,
yeah, there's no.
Like I know a lot of the weapons we have is with you push a button and drones go and kill things, blow up stuff. But you don't. I mean, one of our generals is a woman. A man acting like a woman
they're the ones we have to rely on to defend our country, man.
Have you seen one of those Chechen generals, the guys in the black suits for fighting for Russia? Have you seen them?
No.
You look at him, you see these are man-eaters, bro. He will chew your throat out. You don't want to fight this guy.
And they don't care if you
and then you have this other general
whatever,
coming here with a skirt in front of this general. Who do you think is going to be more intimidated,
And yeah, exactly. That's the message that the United States is sending out. That's the message that United States is sending out. I mean, how are you going to go with a general wearing a dress? How am I going to respect that? How am I going to see him on television and go, oh, yeah, he's going to really fight for my country? What are you going to do, blow bubbles? You know what I mean? It's this whole thing is upside down now.
And in reality is if you live in the cities, which are mostly blue politically, you're not in touch with doing real things. You may be in finance, you may be in entertainment, but you're not out there chopping wood down. You're not out there with your hands in the soil growing food. You're not out there producing things. You're not mining metal from the ground. You're not oring that metal. You're not putting it together. That's what we're missing out on in these blue cities. We're not in touch with the reality of what's going on. And it's so easy for people to say, you need to do something different, the way you're taking care of your land, the way you're growing your cattle. You have no clue, though, because you're not out there. You're not doing it. We're way out of touch just the way that we're living. And that's where it makes it easy to say, hey, I can be any sex I want to be. I can wear a dress. I can change my sex. And you have to respect that, where it's like common sense is like that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This is insane. You are hurting yourself by doing that. And then to say we need to support it, especially with children, that is just mean and harmful and dangerous and shortening these children's lives by doing that.
They have so many ways of installing these type of bad characters in our society, especially with music as well. They attack behind our back with grooming our kids and teaching them all this other stuff, and then for the ones they can't manipulate, who have a little bit more of a stronger mind, they attack them with selling drugs. They attack them with joining gangs. There's so many other things that they have that's connected, especially into our phone, that's kind of leading them down the wrong way.
I think this. I was watching a few podcasts, and I was reading a lot of the comments during the podcasts, and a lot of the good stuff happens while you're on the comments. You have right now we have 16 people talking to each other. It's great to see them conversating, and it's all good. And when like you said earlier, Ed, when we did something wrong, we got smacked, but we took that out of society because some people were very abusive with their children. It wasn't just smacking.
Correct.
Some children were getting iron burned, lashes, thrown down the stairs, and I'm all against that, but to, like, I have daughters. I would not touch them with a feather, bro, because they're daughters. Now, if they were boys, yeah, I wouldn't mind kicking them in the butt, like, because that's a boy. You got to raise them tough.
Well, as a boy, you're eventually going to hit that, at some point. You're either going to have to stand up for yourself.
And I think a lot of this happened because back in the days, I was always fighting the bullies because I didn't like little children being bullied, right? But we had some sort of a law and order in our school system as well, where you knew you couldn't just do whatever. be whatever, you know, because society was like that. Now there is a school where you have children, like 10 of them, acting like they're dogs and cats and attacking other children who are not, you know, like regular children. And they not doing nothing against these children. You know what I'm saying? So this is wrong. This is because we don't allow bullying. Now the people are bullying in a different way. I'm a cat and I can do whatever to you I want and you can't touch me. This is a bullying in a different way, which is not the good way, because we're making our children crazy. We're making our children think they're something they're not. And at the same time, we're offering all these free, without telling your parents, services to chop up any body part a child wants and try to intervene. Guess what? They'll take your children from you. You know what I mean? So a lot of this stuff came because we became softer.
Yeah.
You know, we
That's
said
for sure.
no bullying. Yeah, I'm all for it. No bullying. We were like, no abusing children. Yes, I'm all for it. No abusing children. You know, but I see some children, the way they act, I'm all like, bro, if that was my child, smack him across the head, boy, you better behave. But my children don't act like that because they know better. I'm parenting them from a very young age. I'm teaching my family values to them.
Yep, teaching them discipline.
Instead of using the hand, I use my tongue. I use my words. I explain. But there is some children I see that their parents neglected the education, the early training of what's right and wrong. And now this child is 14, 15 years old, having a tantrum, and the parent is like, why? Because you weren't there for majority of his life.
Yeah, there was no discipline.
There was no discipline when this baby was like 2 years old. Like they say, a child learns everything within the first 5 years. He learns the most, right? And you haven't taught him nothing. And you wonder why your child is like that, bro, you know?
You know, I seen a kid one day, and I think he had a panda I think he had a panda hat or something. And I asked my friend, I was taking her to school, and I said, what is that? Are you guys early Halloween? And she says, no, they're called furries. I said, furries? She goes, yeah, it's a new thing where a kid can be whatever animal he wants. And he goes to school like that, or she goes to school like that? And they're like, yeah, it's a new thing. And I didn't get into further discussion with her, but it was like, where are the mom and dads? And they're allowing this. Like, why? It's insane, bro.
Back in the days when I was growing up, we had cults like this come around, you know. They were called taggers, you know. They were called rebels. They were called punk rocks. You know, they were everything. Was masculine and dominant and survival, you know, friendship, loyalty. And now the cult is a furry, you're right. And these furries are the ones who are attacking our regular children. And
if they want to stand up for themselves, they protect the furries, you know?
Yeah, that's what happens.
I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of teaching children self-defense? Because on one hand, you don't want kids like knocking another kid down and kicking him in the head, which we see videos of, but then you see, as you talked about, one kid getting out of line and nobody else is standing up to him and saying like, hey, you can't do that, and using force if necessary to stop him. So I'm curious what you think, like, what's the line as a parent of somebody who's teaching physical fitness to it?
Well, that's something that we have for the Bushido too. We're going to be teaching MMA and self-defense skills, survival skills, all of that stuff that's going to be involved in developing a young man.
You know, David, when you go to self-defense like classes, one of the first things they teach you that you cannot use that self-defense in a wrongful manner. It's supposed to
Right.
be defense and defending the innocent and all this. They teach you this more than they teach you self-defense, right? These people have this mindset that they cannot fight other people because they're more powerful and they're more strong, unless you
They're
push a
trained.
button, right? But I seen a video the other day where some white kid was getting beat up by a bunch of other. I don't want to say this. I don't want to sound racist, but there was a lot of black kids who were beating. Especially this one kid was beating this white kid and nobody was doing nothing. Everybody was laughing, and they were kind of like 5, 6 of them were jumping this kid. This is all parents teaching how raising their children. I mean, we grew up in a gangbanging era. We had no choice, a gangbang, but we had our homies. We knew which bus we can go to. We knew which bus stop we were supposed to be at. You know, we knew if I go to that corner, I'm going to get beat up, but I had to go, and I went anyways. You know, like, we knew the risks.
Yeah.
You know, that was a different lifestyle. But today, these children are acting all undisciplined,
Unmannered.
unmannered, and yeah, I know it's the new thing. You know, grab and go. We had the beer runs.
Yeah, no one does nothing about it too. Nowadays, people walk into the stores and they start grabbing, and then nobody does anything. Like, they just let them go. Just recently in San Fernando, they walked into the GameStop and they just went in and grabbed everything, and people would just grab their phones and recorded. You know,
No one did nothing.
what's going
But
on?
think about it, Oscar. What can you do? Like, I look at myself and I picture myself being in that one position where you have 30, 40, 50 kids, teenagers, come in. Bro, you can't control them all. You can't stop them all. You can't fight them all. You will get whooped, bro. I mean, maybe if 3, 4 of them attack you, you could do something. But if 10, 20 children jump you, bro, you're going to get whooped, bro.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
care
for
how big
sure.
you are, because you can't fight them all, you know? Like, they will overpower you. And these children, these kids, these teenagers are full of adrenaline at that second because they're about to run into the store and
Just grab and go.
yeah, and imagine if you get into between of that, you're going to get hurt, bro.
So who are these kids? Do they have fathers? Are they being raised right, or are they just like they can see that they can get away with it, and they, you know, well, I can get away with it in this situation?
Same thing like the politicians right now.
That's exactly what it is, Dave. I'm sorry. That's exactly what it is.
That's all the above. What you said.
Like back in the days when I used to go and I needed to jack something to come up a couple of dollars or jack some food to eat from Ralph's or something. I knew if I get caught stealing these chips, I'm gonna get the cops come and they're gonna arrest me. My mom's gonna come. I'm gonna get whooping. Now Gascon is like, they even have a sign. Make sure it's not over $900. Imagine these teenagers, these young adults. I mean, we're too old to go do that. You know, like I'm too old. I probably won't be able to run a block right now, right? I could run 5 miles easy, but I'm just saying, right?
No, I get what you mean.
I'm not as young as I used to be. So
Well, then why would you anyways? You got money in your pocket. You know?
exactly. I mean, I got money. That I'm talking about when I was young. You know, like if I had this, what's happening here, bro? Man, homie, we would. I mean, I'm not even saying what I would have done, but I wasn't saint when I was a child. You know, I broke the law. I'm not gonna lie and say I was a perfect.
But why is it happening? How come we're not asking any questions? Why is it
Because
happening?
we're not
Why?
voting locally, bro.
Yeah, why is it happening? How are our leaders allowing this to happen? You know,
They have an agenda. They have an agenda. They have a propaganda, you know. And we as a minority or people, we're not voting locally. Look at me and Dave, me and you, right? How many times, how many places we were together collecting signature for Protect Kids California?
Numerous
And we
times.
missed it. But if not allowed, we missed it, though.
Yeah.
Do you think we deserve that? Like all the effort we put into it, We should have had it, but people are too.
We didn't have enough people doing it. That's the reality. There's a
We
lot of
didn't
people
have
that should
enough
been
people
doing it.
waking up. You mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think too, when you do something like that, and that's a project I have in the back of my mind that I'd like to see make happen, to have you sign up for an initiative. Say we want to change this law. You write that law and you present it, and now you start promoting it and get. My first initial thought, and I don't know how easy this is going to be, to get 100,000 people to pledge 100 signatures. If you have 100,000 people that, and it may take a couple of years to get all those people, to get them together and say, we're going to go out there. The day is going to come. Are you down to do it? Are you truly down to do it? Verify who they are. And also ask them for a $100 donation. If you do that, you get those 100,000 people, and they're motivated to do it. Within a month, you'll have that $1 million beforehand if you can get people to give that $100. But you also get those signatures just like that. And when you get people involved in actually going out and getting the signatures, that law means so much more to you at that point in time. It's like you are invested in it at that point in time. So that's something, anybody can grab that and go with it if they want. But to get those, to prep it, you have to prep it first. You just can't get the law, submit it, and then go, hey, everybody, let's go out and collect these signatures. You need people that are committed to do it beforehand.
Yeah. When I was going out there getting signatures at Alcaricio, I was talking to fathers and mothers and say, hey, you want to sign this bill? They said, no. And I'm like, okay, God bless you. Have a nice day. I go up to the next one, and it's a lady having 2 kids, walking with 2 kids. Hey, ma'am, would you want to sign this? No, that doesn't affect me. No, but it affects the other kids. It affects your two boys that they're going to go into a restroom, and there's going to be a man in there with a miniskirt using the same restroom. I mean, it's only common sense, but there was a lot of parents, fathers, and mothers that didn't want to sign that bill.
Right.
And that was just...
Also, people are upset about the fact that they're conned into signing something. They don't even know what they're signing. They don't take the time to look into it and actually read it. And then it's like something gets on the ballot, and it's like, what is this? And I signed that, and I got it on there. That's where you have professional signature gatherers. They'll do that because they're getting paid X amount of dollars. I despise that. I despise people. I went to a sports show in Bakersfield where we were at before, and we got a lot of signatures. And there happened to be a guy got there before me, had the paid petitioner set up, and they had like 4 signatures. People didn't even know what they were signing. And when it came time to get my signature, they were burnt out because they got so many signatures from these people before, because they led with the smash and grab with Prop 36. But then they had the other things where people, and I don't remember exactly, but if I looked on the ballot right now, I could see what they are, but people weren't necessarily interested in them. You just got them in the mode, and they go along with it.
And then they complain.
You're right, and you're right, Eddie. One thing that I know, a lot of school boards that we were at, Manouk, you talk to these mothers that are involved, and they would always say, oh, my kid's going to be graduating next year. And it's like, so that's the end of it? Like, you don't care about the rest of society? I don't even have any kids, and I'm going to these school board meetings trying to help out these children because I'm going to have to live in this society with them.
What about your kids as kids? It's like they're not going to have the same opportunity, and that's it. You're done.
The whole society. It's like, and I'll say this. I'll invoke the name of Erin Fisher. Erin Friday. She says, I became a mother to all children, not just to my own, and that's why she fights this issue so strongly, because it's not just about me. It's not just about your kid or my neighbor's kid or my sister's kid. It's like, these are all children. This is important. And if you have this society where you're making kids sick, what kind of future are we going to have?
Fathers with little children were denying us signatures. Like, you see a father with a little girl, you would think that, hey, this father doesn't want a boy to go in the same bathroom with his daughter. They were in denial. They think it's not going to happen to them.
Yeah. They won't wake up until they're knocking in their door, and then while all of that is going on, they want to complain and not stand up. It's like, okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to continue to just go to work and let them continue to keep taking over your way of life now? You can't make no more decisions for your family no more. They're just going to take over everything, and you're just going to constantly keep saying, like, That's it. You have an excuse to say, my son's already graduating next year, or you know what, it's not affecting me right now. Like, when do we say enough is enough and we start taking all of this back, you know?
And people are scared of each other.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing, is getting people together, not being scared of each other, getting in contact with each other, pressing flesh with each other, looking people in the eye, having a bond with one another.
Communicating.
I've gone on, it's election time now, and I've gone knocked on doors. And I remember this one couple came out, and they did everything they could to avoid talking to me. And all I was going to do is tell them about a candidate. Or they could have just told me, you know, hey, my property, get off it. You know, I don't even want to deal with you. Nothing of that, just to avoid me, period. That was it. And that's what people like. They don't want to be bothered. And I get it, because sometimes people are hustling. They put these kids out in front of the store and say, keep me out of gangs, buy a candy bar for $10. It's like, I'm not going to do that. So there are people that take advantage of it. So I get where people are coming from, but it's important that we learn to look at a person in the eye and hear them. And if they're hustling us, call them out on it, because they're gonna try to hustle on the next person that comes along.
Well, I mean,
and that next person is our neighbor.
Well, I mean, they can say all they want, but when you look at your paycheck and you see your taxes, everything's going on, it's actually affecting. You can't even put food on the table, and then you're complaining, and they're complaining about everything that's going on and the future of their kids and everything, and they're not doing nothing about it. Like, it comes to a point to where it's like they have to at least understand what's going on and listen to you trying to explain to them the laws and things like that. But they don't even want to hear it. They don't even want to know about anything. They don't even want to bother going to school board meetings. They don't even want to bother to go to the city hall and speak their voice, you know?
It's also very hard to convince these very believers, like religious people. Me and David, my boy Jose, shout out to you, Jose. What's up, bro? Maria, Jennifer Kennedy, couple of other patriots. We were at this church, Grace Community Church, remember?
Yeah.
And this church has congregation of, I don't know how many thousand, bro, and it seats about 5,000 people every Saturday. It's full, that whole place. We were invited there to collect signatures, bro. I thought we were going to come out here swinging like 5,000 signature. Bro, I was surprised that our Christian and Catholic brothers and sisters don't care. And they were like, I even had one lady said, God will protect me, my family, my children. God will fight for us, da-da-da. And I was like, lady, God is protecting you. That's why he sent me here with this clipboard for you to sign. This is God's way of fighting for you.
The message is
like, there is a joke, right? When the priest is sinking, the lifeguard comes, he doesn't take it, he's waiting for God. Another one, until he finally gets up to, the gates. And Peter says, hey, bro, how come you didn't take none of those lifeboats? I sent you 3. Like, God is not going to come and give you his hand and pull you out of a jam. God is going to send somebody somehow and use another person to support and help you, just like we've been so successful with our movement. And I would never have thought I'd be in a studio within a year having a podcast and talking to you fine gentlemen in the middle of the night and bringing awareness. This is God's work, bro. This is not me.
Yeah, you think about all that we've done in the last year and what we got going. You're creating the Bashuto Tribe. You got a T-shirt company. Alyssa wants to do things to prevent suicide. I just went to the East Coast, Washington, D.C., and I had a 4-day class on how to fundraise. Would have thought I would have done that, And
our girl, Lucina Kirakoisian, was just nominated as a delegate for the Republican Party, and she was over there. Just a regular mom now. She, like, everything's happening, and it's not because of us. It's because of God, He wants us at this place, at this time, right now, because that's His plan, Maybe this is it. This is what we have to do, This is our calling.
Yeah, because I have a business, right? I do the print. I have the print shop, and I have customers that come in all the time, and he's there with me almost all the time. I talk about it. I talk to the community about what's going on. I talk about everything from laws that are passing by, and now people are. It's starting to affect them. So people are they're leading it on now, and they're trying to start to get involved. But we're gonna need a lot more than that for sure. We're gonna need more, especially right now in the upcoming election. You know, a lot of people are rooting us on. They're like, yeah, keep doing it. And they always come up with that excuse. Well, I'm always too busy. I'm always working. And, I don't want to get fired from our job. You know, but the sooner you guys start joining us, the faster we can get over this, you know? That's the reality, you know. There's always many excuses. Anybody can come and say you're gonna sacrifice or you're gonna have bad lashes at your job. There's other people who sacrifice a lot more and go through a lot more than that, and they find the time, and they're doing this for you. And if you guys can come outside and join us, it's only gonna benefit all of us, and we're gonna get through this way faster too.
I also want to throw a shout out to Lonnie, who does a lot of stuff for the veterans, who's also SFV Alliance. I also want to give a shout out to Ronnie Hernandez, because he does a lot. And these are people that are involved with San Fernando Valley Alliance. They're in our group and they're doing a lot. And I want to, like I said, I want to give a shout out to Lonnie because she does a lot for the veterans. And we were at the veterans in Riverside.
Yes, I love both the persons you said. Ron, I love you, my boy. Ronnie, you too. You're a tough person, and I love being in this fight with you guys, man. Honest to God. You meet so many great people and in so many different backgrounds. It's not even funny. Like people coming together under this cause. They're not looking at skin color. They're not looking at your background, because they done messed up when they came to our children, when they chose the wrong school. Whoever was the genius who said, let's introduce this to this elementary school, in Sadico Elementary School, they messed up, you know. They
introduced it to all the schools, you know. The only difference is that the parents of Sadico were the ones who were willing to sacrifice everything they had to stand up for their kids on that.
Yeah, actually, you are right, because
it's everywhere, all LA County, you know. Being
around for a second, especially San Fernando High School, they have the clinic right outside the high school. It's sad what's happening. They're trying to put clinics in our schools where children don't even have to get a ride to go to the clinic. It's just a walking distance from the school. And we did take it to the streets. And we, unfortunately for me, it's unfortunate that we won and we accomplished something within our school and within the district, you know. They realized that we're not gonna take it, you know, because we're the majority. There's no other child like that in this school. Why would you want to, you know, for one family or two family, you want to jeopardize 500 families? You know, this is not making sense. But my sad part is that we didn't win nothing because of the laws 1955.
I disagree with that. I think we are winning. We're winning big time. There's so many people involved. So many people aware of this issue.
We are winning, but look at, when it was time for us to make noise where this AB 1955 wouldn't be signed, like again, when it was time for us to get the signatures for Protect Kids of California, again, like, I'm like, dude, you know, like, we got to do something.
Is this the first petition initiative you've ever been involved in?
This is first everything I've been involved in.
Yeah, I've been involved in a lot of grassroots petition initiatives. I've never seen anything so successful as this.
No, I know it was very successful.
It was hugely successful.
It was financed by us.
Right.
Everybody, you put in money from your pocket. I put in money from my pocket. Everybody who was involved was putting the money out of our own pockets, right? And it was very successful. We only missed it by 60,000 signatures. But to have 40 million people in California and only 5% of Californians are in the soup mafia, right? That's like bro, there's 30 million people and some left right there. Over 36 million people. That out of that, 10%, not even 10%, 1%, 2% would have done it. You know, this is where I'm saying that after that, not only we didn't get the signature, then he turned around, our new scum, signed AB 1955.
You see, but you know what? We are doing something, because before, all of this would have just gone in through our noses, and we would have just been going on with our day like nothing. So now the fact that we're actually fighting, you can go and see all these comments on his page, and people are actually commenting and bringing awareness, and they're actually starting to like do something. Before, they would have just continued to do something, continue to keep passing these bills, and nobody would have been saying nothing.
You know what, Manuk? What you guys did at Sadakoy, that made me get up, and I said, I go, hey, them Armenians ain't playing around, bro. I said, I was like, damn, I need my people to do that. You know what I mean? But when I seen the Armenian, your guys' culture and everything, I was just like, what the heck? And I stood up, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, man, Armenians ain't playing around when it comes to their kids.
No, we're not. You know, don't get me wrong. We are winning. We are successful. Our winnings is spreading. It is spreading very quickly. You know, a lot of people are. But again, I still think that we're still gotta push it harder.
We gotta go way harder
because we need a little bit more quantity of people waking up. You know, this election season. This specific election year is the most crucial. They will go down in the history of histories, and we either make it or break it, right? And I'm hoping that it's going to wake up more people and unite us, because I already seen all these Trump rallies happening in Beverly Hills, in La Crescenta, in just right here, Montrose, down the street from here, right? Everybody's jumping in and speaking out, and we need more of that. You know, that's my thing. We need more of that, and we need to make sure that our government, the local government, is the one that we want them to be there.
Well, look at New York now. The mayor, he just completely flipped now, and now he's actually getting some common sense, and now they're actually attacking him and trying to indict him with all these federal charges, because he's not pushing their narrative anymore. You know,
it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
It's too late, bro. Like, yeah, all of a sudden I changed my mind. No, bro, you look at what's happening in New York.
That's
New York
completely
is
true. That's completely true. But the fact that that at least we have one mayor that's changing his mind, and that gives us an opportunity to at least set a foot in New York now. You know, start growing some redness in there.
In Sacramento, there are legislators, Democratic legislators, that have gotten how insane this is and how they want to change their stance, but they can't because they feel like they're alone on this. So the mindset is changing with those people that go along with it.
And that's one of the things that Sadakoy parents did. That there's a lot of parents out there, including myself. I used to just talk about it in my business until I seen the Sadakoy. Now that made me feel like I'm not alone. Now I got another community out there that feels the same way I do, you know, instead of just me being here in my bubble, talking about it. And now I'm able to go out with Manuk. You know, now we go out on protests, and now we do all of that other stuff. That's how I met Ed over here too, and David, you know.
You know, I wanna you guys are speaking of Sadakoy, and you just had a flashback. I went there right now real quick, came back. I want to give a special shout out to two special people. One is my boy, Informed with Anthony. Man, this guy put me on the map big time. And the second is the 180 Shift girls. You know, Ella and Tara.
They're working.
They were they're journalists. You know, like public. You know, and they weren't afraid to report the truth. And a week before, a flag was burned, and the news media was attacking the parents. Look at these bigoted parents, transphobic parents. They burned the flag, The news was in our school every day for a whole week. The cops were circling around the school. Like, every teacher was like, Armenian teachers and the principal, oh, this is not going to sit well. Like, look at you. You're being portrayed on the media. You guys go do this. We're going to da-da-da-da-da. And I stood up. We had a bunch of moms, and they were like arguing, talking to the teachers, the principal. And I stood up. I said, "Wait, moms, hold 1 second. Let me speak. Like say my manly couple of words." I told the principal and the teachers. I said, "Listen, I stopped this in a snap of a finger. We'll cancel all the protests. We'll throw all the T-shirts in the trash. We'll burn the banners, and we won't even do nothing. Just don't do what you're planning on doing. Don't read that book to our children, and we'll cancel it. We'll just, forget it this ever happened." They said, "Oh, we can't do that." I said, "Well, sorry, we cannot do this. Even if I'm going to give bid, whatever the media is going to portray me, we're going to do it." And thank God, I swear to God, thank God that Anthony, Informed with Anthony, and the 180 Shift girls were there. And they reported it. They captured the moment, the real, actual, everything they captured. And the news media, while the news media was marking us these very bad people, they weren't realizing the local people with the cameras is going to go viral on the social media, and everything you're saying on the news thing is not going to matter because social media is going to take over everything, and that's what happened. If Anthony wasn't there, and the 180 chicks weren't there, guess what? None of this would have happened. We would have been the most targeted, hateful people in California because we tried to stand against the mafia.
And that's good that you brought that up because that's one thing that I've noticed too. The more you speak up, the more connections you create with like-minded people. In the beginning, I was like, dude, it's gonna be hard. But once you stand up and you start connecting more with like-minded people, you start doing business with them. The bridges you build by speaking up are way stronger than the bridges you had before. By just being silenced and not actually speaking your thoughts and how you feel on your character of the way you raise your kids and the way you live your life.
And what was the very sad part about all this that happened in Saticoy? There was only one parent from the LGBT community, only one couple with one child. And when we talked to them and they kind of were like, yeah, you guys making sense, they attacked him. And they were about to beat him up. Their own people, the Antifa, because this guy was like, yeah, we agree with you. Like, we don't want this to be taught to our children either. And we're like, I was like, well, then what are you doing here? Why are you standing in front of me? You should come stand next to me because that's what we're fighting. We're fighting the system, not you. I don't care what you do. So when Antifa saw that this gay couple were actually about to turn side and come on our side, we saved them. We were like, go, bro. Like, we got you. We're not going to let them beat you up. And they left. And who was standing in front of us? Not one person who had a child in that school. No. Not one person. Against who? Only parents. Maybe grandparents.
The ones that are the child.
Maybe uncles. Maybe aunts. People who pick up and drop off the children at school. That was the very disturbing thing that happened, because these people specifically came there to fight us, to da-da-da-da-da, and we were lucky that Anthony and Tara and Ellie was there.
From what happened at the library in San Fernando, what I was amazed about is we had rival gangs there. We had Pacoima and San Fernando, and that brought a lot of love to me because all the homies were there, and a lot of them that were there were for the children. And so everybody put their differences away, and they were all there for the children. And not only that, there was Guatemalan family, there was Salvadorian family, there was Mexicans family, spoke nothing but Spanish, but they were right there in the mix with us fighting.
There were old ladies there.
Old ladies.
Mm-hmm.
There was this old man who heard the commotion, came over, and he was like, I dropped off my child at the kindergarten, daycare, and they told me that they were going to bring the children to the library for a book read. And I happened to swing by, and I see all these people at the library. I wanted to stop and ask you guys what it is, and now I'm finding out, and I can't believe my grandson was about to come to this. And we were like, yeah, and imagine how many people like this don't know what's happening to their children when you take them to daycare. Parents, be involved constantly. Ask questions. See what your children are doing, man. You gotta be involved.
Pay attention
Don't blame
to the
the system if you're not involved with your children.
We have said this over and over again ad nauseum, but how in the world are you doing something as a sexual kink, as dressing up as a woman, as a man, and reading to toddlers? How is that okay in society? How have we gotten to this point?
Being 6'7" and dressing like Marilyn Monroe with a tutu.
I will say,
reading to little kids.
Those two events have inspired people worldwide. That is not just in California and in Los Angeles, across the United States. Worldwide, people are very inspired by that. There's only a few things like that that's happened across the world. And it happened too because you guys made those things happen.
Just on that note, I want to open up little cards. From now, I want to open up these cards. We are working on details of marching down on the Capitol. And sometime next year, in the future next year, we're deciding on the date, and we're gonna try to bring Southern California and Northern California together to show that it is possible to put aside your differences to fight for your children.
Man, that'd be a blessing.
Because at the end of the day, we do everything that we do for our children. I mean, if they're coming down, they're not going to look at your child is from Southern California or Northern California. They're not going to care. If you're in California, your children are at risk. So we need to show them that, everybody got to come together. Everybody. Whites, blacks, Chinese, American, Armenians, Mexicans, Spanish, Latin, everybody.
Homies and homegirls.
All of them. You all have to come down, and I always wonder why the raza is not waking up. You guys got numbers. You guys are not. I always thought if you guys get up, everybody got to sit down because you got numbers and you got family-oriented, religion-oriented. Like you got value, class, like history. We just got down past Hispanic Heritage Month. Nobody. Did you hear any one of your school district members say Happy Hispanic Month?
No, they're not.
You haven't. Imagine what? In June, everybody going to scream, oh, Why? You don't want to talk about Cesar Chavez, but you want to talk about Pickle, Dickle, Mickle.
Well, they got the raza all confused where they've trained to hate the United States. You can't speak about it. You have to represent a different culture, and they don't realize that the more you interact with the laws and stuff like that, and you love your country, is the only way you're going to be able to make a change. And they don't understand that when you push your other culture and they push that on you, and they make you hate your own country, is the only way you don't have a say for what happens to yourself, or especially what happens to your community. They know they can manipulate you. They know they can keep taxing you and use your money to continue to keep funneling them down through nonprofits. But the moment the raza wakes up, and everybody in the United States wakes up and understand that the only way they can make change is by actually representing the United States, because they actually came here for that reason, to make change. You can't just continue to just keep allowing them to manipulate you and hate your community because somebody raises the American flag because they say it's a racist flag, or they say that this flag represents this and it represents that. No matter what you do, if you live here, it represents you. No matter what community you're in, it represents you. The only way to make change is if you start becoming the change, make the change, represent your flag, no matter what culture you're from, what background you're from. At the end of the day, the only way you're actually going to benefit from anything that you get from here is by actually loving your country. And it's this country.
I'm not telling you to vote for Trump. I'm just telling you to vote with common sense. Back when I first was a Trumper, when he first ran, I would go to the local lowrider car shows, and I went to one in Shakey's Pizza, whatever, on Foothill in Hubbard, and I had this T-shirt that said, F the Democratic Hispanic politicians. Well, when I walked up there and with my MAGA hat, all the homies were like, F you, F you, F you. And my wife's like, well, what are we going to do? And I was just like, well, they're just barking. Let's go and get our pizza. Let's go get our wedges and all that. Now that I go to the car shows, and I go to car shows frequently, they're telling me trompero. So our people are waking up.
They're waking up.
You know, and I get a lot of this. I get a lot of, hey, what's up with your hat? Let me get a hat. Let me do this. Let me do this. And I carry a lot of them in my car, but a lot of them at the car show. In San Fernando Valley, that car show that we did, we also had rival gangs there, and they came together.
Yeah.
You know, so you guys were also there, you know, and we fed over like what 300, 400 people. You know, so that was our turnout.
We had a very
gave
successful
out
turnout
TVs.
that time, bro.
We gave out TVs. We gave out a whole bunch of stuff out to the community.
I know somebody who won a lot of stuff that day.
Right? Yeah.
But
I was trying to inspire people to buy tickets. I did not.
dude,
want to
this
win
guy
all that
bought all the
stuff. I should've
tickets.
just
He won
ignored
all
it.
the stuff. He was like, damn it.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
It was a very good day. No, it was a very good move. You know what? I'm sitting there and I'm like, how come I'm not winning nothing? You didn't buy no raffle ticket. That's why you didn't win nothing. You know, like, it's common sense. This guy spent like a couple of $100 buying those tickets. Of course he was going to win. The only tickets in the jar was his
He
tickets.
got all the tickets.
And you know what we did out of that? We met Julie from Oregon. That was really cool. You know,
shout out Jules. What's up,
What's
Julie?
up, Jewel? Yeah.
Julie and Scott.
And Scott, yeah, we met those two good people. And
No, Chris.
Chris.
God, where the hell Scott come to my mind? Chris.
Hey,
What's up, Chris? My bad, bro.
Those are patriots. Those are out there fighting in the front lines in Oregon, bro.
Yeah. Julie's she's gangster. She's
Yeah,
my gangster girl.
they've been putting in work.
You know,
out
I
there.
tell
They
my
come
people,
out-
I hear my people complaining about this country too, you know, like, and I tell them, bro, like seriously, if you don't like this country, what are you doing there? You know, if your country, I'm not saying my country is bad. I'm not down talking my country, right? But I love it here. This is the best country for me. I love my country, Armenia, right? That's my heritage. But I don't live there. I live here. This is my country. This is my country. This is where my children are born. This is where we live. I love this country. And if you don't like this country, I said it once. Let me take this off so you can see my eyes. If you don't like this country, you don't like this flag, let me know. I'll buy you one-way plane ticket out of this country. But you got to sign your citizenship and then go, okay? So you never come back. We are nearing to the end of our show. They're signaling us from right there that we got
Can I introduce my boy real quick?
your boy?
Andrew?
I think he left.
Oh, he left?
Is Andrew there? Yeah, I think he left. Yeah, I think they left, bro.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was telling you. But, like, any final words, Oscar?
Yeah, just join the Bushido tribe if you guys want to get involved. You can just click the link right there on. Yeah, click the link right there. You guys can register, and hopefully I get to see you guys there, and we get to develop this a good community out of this, you know, and get to install this for the future of our kids, you know, of our community
right.
as well. And follow SFV Alliance too if you guys want to get informed with other stuff that we're going to be adding there. It's going to be a community, a lot of like, what is it that we're going to be having? The Bushido tribes going to be connected. The suicide prevention. We want to get all of that stuff going in there.
We'll be talking about a lot of legislation that's coming up and what's happening and how you can go about fighting it.
And Bushido is not only for young men; it's also for young women.
Yes.
So
For families.
for families, and if you got your young daughters, bring them down. You know,
And hopefully we will be having some new legislators that can bring forth laws that we can support and get behind. That's what we're hoping the future is going to happen after November 4th, 5th, whenever that date is, that the elections are finally over.
David, I know you said something about, we were talking earlier, where can people find more information about legislation and all this stuff?
Right now isn't really the time, and the governor's signing whatever bills are on his desk. So if you want to see what's happening, what he's vetoing, what he's getting rid of, just go to gov.ca.gov. That's the governor's, go to his news sites, and it's talking about what's being rejected and what's being accepted. He did reject SB 954, which is by Caroline Menjivar to provide condoms in schools to kids, whatever they wanted.
He passed it or no?
No, he vetoed it because he said that there wasn't enough money for it. My question is, and somebody raised this question and I'm parroting it, is what if there was enough money? And if you're okay with that, can I give your kids a handful of condoms? Are you cool with that, Governor Newsom? I don't think he is, and I think that was just an excuse. I also want to mention Them Before Us. I was talking about the rights of the child. That's the movement. You go to thembeforeus.com. There is a book that's written about it. Katie Faust has talked a lot about it. It's important to understand and really get that in the consciousness that we, as adults, need to put our children first, before us, before our feelings, before our good times. Our children is what our future is, and that's what we're here for as adults. You're having kids. I mean, that's what life is all about.
Just like my boy Nautic says, the children are our national treasures.
They are.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This brings us to the conclusion of our show. I would love to talk to you guys all night, but it's kind of getting late, and they're flagging us because my message to everybody, please be involved with your children. Talk to them, share with them, play with them, create activities, join the Bushido tribe. This is a great opportunity to connect with your children. Go out there, exercise, learn, teach, be part of the community, spread the words, follow the San Fernando Alliance to find out more what's happening in San Fernando with your local government and all that stuff. Always follow Leave Our Kids Alone. Follow us on Red Angeles for all YouTube access to LOKA podcasts, and give a shout out to my girl Bad Moms Media. I love what you're doing. Keep it up. The Adam Vina Show. I love what you're doing, my boy. Good luck to you. And these are all the podcasts we have on Red Angeles, and of course, your favorite one and only Late Night LOKA podcast with your boy Manu Grigorian. Check us out next Friday at 9. I'll see you then. Have a good night, everybody.
Always do the right thing.